Arguably, not just the greatest military strategist and conqueror, but the greatest human being to ever exist on this planet. The man with the unmatched aura, and the man who was the main character before it was cool, Alexander the Great. While studying this behemoth of a man, this king among kings, here are the lessons that I learned that you can apply to your life to become a king. The first one is to be ruthlessly ambitious. And here's a quote by the man, the myth, the legend, Alexander the Great himself. Make your goals and ambitions large enough as to ignite a fire in your spirit. With these held in the forefront of your mind, the temptations of petty distractions will be burned to ashes. I mean, what a wonderful quote, and it's only to be expected from the greatest human to ever live. But here's the thing, it's completely true. You have to have a big enough goal that you're willing to suffer for, and that will eliminate the distractions, the petty temptations in your way. Because think about it, will you go through hell and suffer for a candy bar? Absolutely not. Who would? But will you go through hell and suffer to save everyone that you've ever loved and yourself? Of course you would. You would go through anything to do that. And so when you start framing things in this way, all of a sudden they become bigger. The goal becomes bigger than just, oh, I want to lose a few pounds. I want to eat a bit healthier. And maybe make a few more bucks. When you make the goal bigger, you frame it in a way where it's life and death, all of a sudden you will achieve more. Because here's the thing, your level of motivation is directly correlated with the size of your goal. And so if you think about it, if you think to yourself that, you know what, I want to eat a bit healthier and lose a few pounds, that's a fine way to think. But don't be surprised when there's gonna be days when you're not very motivated. And because you're not very motivated, you cheat on your diet. You don't go to the gym even though you said you would. But here's the thing, when you start framing it like it's life and death, you know what? If I don't get that fucking six-pack, my whole life will have been wasted. My existence on this planet will have been for nothing. God gave me this body that I could shape and mold into a sculpture, and I threw that chance away. I threw away the opportunity, and every piece and second of my existence will have been a waste. It will have been for nothing. And when you frame it like that, it might sound extreme, but all of a sudden you will find a lot more motivation to go to the gym. Even though you feel like cheating, you feel like, oh man, I want the junk food. You will still stay disciplined enough to say, no, my existence on this planet, my life is worth more than the pleasure and dopamine of that junk food. And therefore, you will eat cleaner. And so when you frame things as bigger than what they actually are, and you make your goals and ambitions large enough to ignite that fire in your spirit, all of a sudden, petty temptations burned to ashes. Now the second thing you learn from Alexander the Great is that you gotta believe that you're the best. There is a great story about how the mother of Alexander literally tried to convince him and told him that he is the son of Zeus. He is literally divine. And whether that's true or not doesn't really matter. Because when Alexander the Great, you hold the belief that you're literally divine, you have been chosen to conquer the world, then all of a sudden, he goes and does it. He believed that he could do it. He believed that he was the best. And when you believe that you're the best, you know what? You go and achieve more. And here's the thing. When you have that sort of self-belief and you have action, so self-belief with action is confidence. But self-belief without action is arrogance. And so in a way, you're allowed to be as arrogant as you want as long as you prove it with action. Because the moment you take action, it turns from arrogance into confidence. And so if you're in a room and you're like, you know what, I'm the fucking hardest worker in the room, I'm the best in here. It might be arrogant to others, but as long as you take the action to actually prove it, you know, everyone else works 8 hours, you work 10. Everyone else says, you know what, I'm gonna take a day off, I'm gonna rest, and you go to the gym. You start taking these actions to prove that. No, it's no longer arrogance. You took the action which turns arrogance into confidence. You are simply confident enough to say the truth, which is that you're the hardest worker in the room. Because you took the action to prove your arrogance into confidence. And so when you look at Alexander the Great, and you look like, oh, he believed that he was divine. You know, a lot of stupid people will go and obsess over the truth. Well, Alexander the Great held a wrong belief. It's a false belief. And, you know, try to make fun of him. But, motherfucker, he's Alexander the Great. And the people criticizing him and trying to make fun of him are fucking nobodies. And so here's the thing. If you have to hold a false belief to win, then go fucking win. Stop obsessing over the truth. In the end, in this life, there are winners and losers, and you decide which one you become. And if you have to hold a few wrong beliefs about how you're the best and how you're wonderful and how you're capable of anything and how you can go and literally conquer the world, if those false beliefs, if you have to hold them to win, then go fucking win. You know, the truth of your situation might be that you're out of shape, you don't have a lot of friends, you're not really going anywhere. But if you truly, within your mind, believe that you are the man, you're the fucking man, then that belief, if you truly believe it within your heart, will slowly turn into acting like the man. And when you act like the man, surprise, surprise, slowly but surely, you become the man. You know, you believe that you're the man, and so I'm the fucking man. I can go and fucking work out 6 days a week. Who's gonna stop me? And then you do it. And then you get in great shape. And then everyone looks at you like you're the man because you became the man. You know what? You think to yourself, you know what? I'm the fucking man. I can, you know, go and talk to new people. I can socialize however much I want. I can, you know, be social and talk to new people. I can be confident. There's no problem. And then you go and do it. And boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden everyone's like, yo, this guy can talk to anyone he wants. He can just talk to new people out of the whim, like magic. And once again, slowly but surely, you turn into the man because you believed that you were the man. First you believe that you are the man, then you prove it, once again, it's arrogance, that you prove with action, and then it turns into confidence, and then you become the man, and then you win. That simple. And you know what the third thing that Alexander the Great taught me? To never fear and to never stop. And when you have that combination, you literally become unbeatable. You know, Alexander the Great never lost. Not even once did he lose. Because first of all, he never feared the enemy. He never feared anyone. And this is a part of the previous one. When you have that absolute self-belief, you know, I'll win. You know, this battle against the Persian army, the trained army that conquered so much of known world. But I'm Alexander the fucking Great. And I'm better. And I don't fear these people. And then you don't stop. He takes one city. He doesn't stop. He goes to the next one. He goes to the next one and the next one. Even on Alexander the Great's deathbed, literal deathbed, he was planning more conquests. Planning more conquests while dying. Because he had the mentality of never fucking stop. I'm gonna go and get it all. Man conquered basically all of the known world at the time. And he's like, I want more. So when you have this mentality of never stop and never fear, you become unstoppable. He didn't have a single day in his life where he said, you know what, I'm gonna take a day and rest. Today, I've conquered enough. I can just sit down, retire, be the king, enjoy my life. No. He never stopped. Keep going, even on your deathbed. Don't relax. Don't take a day off. Don't be like, you know what, this is enough. My kingdom is large enough. No, it's never large enough. You can always grow, or you can always conquer more. And the reason why you want to have this mentality of it's never enough is not because it's never enough, but because here's the thing. There is no such thing as, this perfect equilibrium. It doesn't exist. There is no true balance. You either grow or you decline. Just like the ground that you stand upon, it is never truly flat. It is always few degrees down, few degrees up. Nothing can ever be in a perfect balance. And so to make sure that you are not falling down, that you are not descending, you must make sure that you are unstoppable and you are constantly climbing. And so never fear and never stop. No matter the enemy in front of you, never fear them. Never fear them. And no matter the achievements that you've gotten, never stop. And with these lessons from Alexander the Great, you can become a king within the realm that you want. Whether it be a king in fitness and be the best shaped person at the gym. Whether it be king at business. You conquer the markets. You conquer the, business realm that you are in. The field that you are in. You become the best doctor in town. Whatever it is. Using these models of mind and changing your framework, your mindset, you can become a king. And so go out there, stay disciplined, chase your dreams, and have a fantastic day.